I'm Mike Huckman at the Bio Buzz Center, where I'm pleased to welcome Dr. Ted Buckley, who is the head of U.S. Government Relations and Public Affairs for Shire Pharmaceuticals. Dr. Buckley, thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for having me, Mike. I appreciate it.
So you were part of a steering committee that worked on a report that's being issued here at this year's International Convention by BIO, specifically regarding the orphan drug tax credit. Tell us about the report.
Thanks so much, Mike. It is the culmination of over 6 months of work. And it looks specifically at what is the effect that the orphan drug tax credit has had on the development of treatments and therapies for rare diseases over its past 30 plus years of existence.
And what was the reason to put a lens on it?
Well, there's continual talk about need for tax reform in the United States. And so when you're thinking about the tax code is in a book about probably this thick, and the orphan drug tax credit is about 4 lines long. Very simple tax credit. What it does is it allows you to take as a tax credit up to 50% of your clinical development costs for developing a rare disease, therapy for rare diseases. And as you're talking about tax credits, people think mortgage interest deduction. They think, what is the overall rate, the corporate tax rate? So they think in very, very big terms. But nobody thinks sometimes about these smaller programs and what they mean.
This has been in place for more than 30 years now, and it's potentially under threat.
That's correct. And I like to say this is the only tax credit that I know of that saves lives. This is a unique tax credit. And can I talk a little bit about what the report found?
Of course, please. And what is the key takeaway?
The key takeaway is that among the incentives that were granted with the Orphan Drug Act, market exclusivity, the taxes, the tax credit, that up to 1/3 of the therapies that were developed would not have been developed if it hadn't been for the orphan drug tax credit.
So you're trying to send that message to Capitol Hill: don't take this away, because you'll stifle innovation and you could potentially deny people who need new treatments
That's
the
right.
development and existence of those treatments.
Exactly, and it's a unique tax credit. It saves lives.
All right, so what are the next steps?
So the next steps is we'll release it, we'll hear the feedback that it creates and the buzz that it creates here, and then we'll start taking it up on Capitol Hill and discussing it with members of the relevant committees and help educate them about the orphan drug tax credit specifically, but biopharmaceutical innovation in general and why it's so important.
Great. Dr. Ted Buckley, the head of U.S. Government Relations and Public Affairs at Shire Pharmaceuticals, thanks for joining us here at the Bio Buzz Center.